So when we saw them meet on the tarmac, there was a real genuine warmth between them. It looked like they really wanted to get along. You saw really genuine smiles. You saw President Trump staying very open. You saw when President Putin addressed him, he reached his hand out. They looked like they were actually almost like friends. So it looked like there was a real genuine desire to connect and to get along.
President Putin, will you agree to a ceasefire?
Mr. President, what's your message to Vladmir Putin?
Mr. Putin, did you underestimate Ukraine?
When we're trying to build rapport with somebody, physical touch is such a common way to do it. And President Trump does that a lot. And he doesn't do it to everybody, but he does it to people he likes. And one thing that I noticed he didn't do, and he's notorious for doing this, is that when he shook hands with Putin, it was a normal handshake, which may sound obvious. Why wouldn't he have a normal handshake? Because President Trump has a tendency to pull people towards him. It's a power play. He does that all the time. I've seen him do it with world leaders. He does this constantly. He did not do it today. And I thought that showed that he was not trying to do any overt power plays, at least at that moment. Well, both of them shared the same body language at that point. They both had their legs open. They both were doing what we call steepling, where you kind of do this. When you're an expert, sort of when you're the head honcho, the CEO, they tend to do that. And they were both doing that below their legs. So they were both sitting there doing positions of power. It didn't seem like they were conflicting with each other in that way, but they both were actively doing hand signs and sitting in positions that they were basically telling everybody in the room that we're in charge right now.
Поэтому наша страна искренне заинтересована в том, чтобы положить этому конец. Важно также, что с Аляской связана значительная часть общей истории России.
When President Putin was speaking, Trump was very he has a hard time sitting still. He doesn't do well when other people are talking for long periods of time. So he really was getting antsy. He would look over at him like he still was trying to connect in that sense, but he does get sort of impatient because I think he likes to talk and he's not the biggest fan of listening.
There's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott.
That's where things got very interesting to me. So with President Putin, he was just giving a prepared speech. You didn't really see much actual emotion from him. He's just speaking and orating like anybody would in a situation like that. President Trump, however, was a little bit different. He seemed, based on what I could see, he seemed frustrated. His energy was down. He seemed, in my opinion, disappointed. He would do his teeth like that. Sometimes he does that when he gets frustrated or angry. So I don't think that it went exactly as he wanted based on his body language.
Again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening.
The energy was so different. He was so excited to see Putin. He was really open and energetic. I just don't think he got what he wanted because you just saw him seem a lot more tame. He was less emphatic. He obviously, if you've ever watched President Trump talk, he talks with his hands all the time. He does a lot of this expressive stuff. You weren't really seeing much of that. And so I think he was very deflated. That's what I saw at the end. Either that or just very tired. But to me, it looked like he was a bit deflated.
Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.